It'll be louder. Good morning,
Good
good morning,
morning.
good morning. How you doing? Hope all is well.
Yes,
Welcome
Happy Wednesday.
to another great day where we get a chance to connect with you, talk with you, find out what's going on in your world.
Yes.
We are Hassani and Daniel, Pettiford Couples Academy. And
Everybody.
we're excited about these mornings because we get to energize you, to get you started on your day, to give you some inspiration, some hope,
Yes.
some clarity about what you need to do in your relationship to take it to the next level.
Absolutely. And it's also just for us great to get up without the kids. They're still knocked out. I know many of you are enjoying your early mornings like never before. Those of you that have the kids home, which is everyone, because it's summertime. So this is a great time for us to get up get started, pray together. This morning, Hassani prayed a phenomenal prayer over me, over our family, over our clients and the marriages. And it was just phenomenal to touch and agree before we start the day. So let's get you on the same track to touch and agree on pursuing your spouse.
Yes, that's our topic for today. How to pursue your spouse.
Hey, Tina.
Good to see you all.
Yeah.
It's important to pursue your spouse. It's important to know that just because you said I do, the chase doesn't stop. It actually continues.
Yeah.
And you got to be mindful of that because boredom can set in, monotony can set in. As they say, monogamy leads to monotony.
Yeah.
And so you got to make sure that you're always doing the best you can. Hey guys, good to see you, Angela from Guyana. It's important that you always pursue your spouse. And I think there's some misconceptions about what happens when you say I do. Somehow people think that, you know what? Once I got you, I'm good.
Right.
And so when you're dating, you are pursuing, you are wooing, you are trying to impress, you are trying to get the attention, you are trying to connect, you're spending time together, you're communicating, you're dating, and you do so much to pour into the relationship. And then once you say I do, it seems like you give up your relationship for the sake of the marriage.
I agree. It's like the human condition.
South Africa in
Hey,
the house.
South Africa.
Love it, love it, love it.
It's the human condition that everything that is new now becomes old and we don't treat it the way that we used to. You think about everything that you've ever gotten. Remember the new car smell in your car and you're like, I'm never going to eat in here. I'm not going to drink in here. We're not going to do anything in here but drive like this. Don't even move too much. And then a few months in, you're just doing some snacks. No big deal. And you're drinking water. And next thing you know, you're drinking soda in there, drinking coffee in there. And so it's the human condition for us to just relax after we've acquired something. And that's the unfortunate bit about it, because in the beginning, that's what caused you to be so enamored by that person.
Yes.
How they pursued you and how they thought of every single detail before you thought it. They were 10 steps ahead. And then now that I got you, I'm good.
And so I think if we deal with some myths, the myth number one that I think that we battle in our minds is, you know what? If I married the right one, then the feelings that I had when we first started the relationship should just always be there. And that the minute those feelings go away, we begin to question, well, did I marry the right person? But interestingly enough, according to statistics, the in-love feeling lasts for about 2 years. And then all of a sudden it begins to drift, it begins to shift. Then you have to be more intentional to do what was natural in the beginning. Think about it. In the beginning, it was natural to spend time, to connect,
because I was
to get
in discovery mode.
You were in discovery mode.
Yeah.
And then once you get into a relationship and you're secure, now you have to put the work in to maintain what was natural in the beginning. And I think a lot of people say, oh my God, this is just too hard. It shouldn't take all of this. Why has it got to take so much work? Because a marriage is spelled what? W-O-R-K. It
Actually,
is work.
It's spelled H-A-R-D-W-O-R-K.
It's hard work. It's hard work. And if you're not willing to put in the work, then what you're going to do is have a lackluster relationship. And so you got to constantly pursue your spouse again and again and again.
It makes me think of one of my favorite movies, and that is The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. And in that movie, he had so many tough challenges, being homeless with his son. His wife left him. She was not trying to have anything to do with him because he wasn't successful. Then he ends up in the bathroom stall, sleeping there, locking the door with his son, sitting on the toilet, sleeping pretty much. Just very, very difficult, strenuous times. But he was in pursuit of happiness. There was nothing that he was not going to let anything keep him from accomplishing his dreams and acquiring what it is that he needed to acquire to become successful. And we need to exercise that in our marriage. We need to pursue happiness with abandon. Yes.
I believe that. And what happens is in relationships, we get comfortable and we begin to drift. And we talk about this all the time. You go from soulmate to roommate to roommate. There's an emotional disconnect, an emotional decline. There's a drift. Yeah. And that's right. Cellmates, where you feel like you're in a prison with your marital partner. And so you have to work to get back to where it was. That means you've got to pursue, you've got to chase, you got to have a passion for it. So what are some basic tips that we can use and bring into our relationship? Well, the question is, what did you do before you got married? Yeah. You spent quality time with each other. You know, statistically, the average couple only engages in about 4 minutes of conversation a day, but you spend 8 to 10 hours a day communicating with people at work, co-workers, colleagues, customers, but you barely say anything to your spouse. You come home and one person drifts off into the office, one goes into the living room, they're in separate worlds, they're not connected, and there's no togetherness.
And I think part of that is because you think that there's nothing else to discover about your partner. Like you think you know everything. There's no surprises around the corner. Things are monotonous. But we have learned that you can actually rediscover other aspects of your partner. And you can invigorate your marriage by becoming different, by trying new things together, which invites in that newness that you're really pursuing outside your marriage when you're just going to work and talking to a friend. A lot of times you're so much more interested in what your coworker has to say or your friends have to say than your spouse, because it's interesting, it's new, it's intriguing.
I think what you said is important. You can rediscover your spouse. Every 7 years, every cell in our body regenerates itself. You become a completely different person.
Different than who I was when we met.
And so
you're completely, yes.
And you got to give your spouse the freedom to be different. And then you have to pursue it and get to know. Because if you get stuck in normalcy, it's a problem.
Yeah. Rashia says quarantine has actually helped our marriage because we were ultimately forced to spend more time together. I keep hearing that over and over again. You have both sides of the fence. Some folks are like, who in the world am I married to? I can't wait to get out of here. Others are like, wow, I'm discovering all this new character about my spouse who I hadn't been paying attention to for a while.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
We call that quarantine love.
Quarantine love.
When you get that love back because of quarantine, when you're forced to, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. So you might as well just engage with one another. So spending the time to rediscover each other all over again. How about when we were dating, it was natural for people to flirt with one another, to seduce one another.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times that leaves a relationship.
Yeah.
It's almost like now that you're my spouse, it's your requirement to do, like sex is a requirement now. Affection is a requirement. Duty sex.
Fix that.
But you still have to pursue it.
Yes.
You still have to create
and be
an
playful
environment.
With it. Yes. Some women feel like they have to be these sex bunnies that they see on TV. No, like your spouse knows who you are. You can bring your sexiness, your cuteness, your coyness to the relationship. Be playful, have fun with it, and he or she will appreciate it.
Yeah. Another simple thing that you can do, take the time to compliment each other. Do you realize how hard it is for individuals to form their lips to actually say something healthy or positive about each other? I was just in a session late last night with a couple, and for their entire marriage, one of the partners never felt beautiful, never felt admired, never felt attractive because their spouse never articulated it. Now, here's the deal. He thinks she's beautiful. But he grew up in a culture within his home where they just didn't do that. And I don't have to tell you what you already know. You already know it. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't be married in the first place. But the ability to speak life into your partner and to acknowledge what you admire about them is so critically important.
And you can learn these habits. Oh, I see. Jubel says, thanks for the advice about setting a set time for spending time together. Our date nights are doing this very thing. Awesome. And I think as it relates to not seeing things in the home, I'm a victim of that. I didn't see hugs all the time, and I didn't hear I love you all the time. But as we get older and we know better, we do better. So we need to begin to exercise what we know and what our partner needs. These habits can be learned, and there are personality styles that come into play with this, but you can still learn the actions, and they may feel uncomfortable, but you do them until they feel comfortable.
There it is. Tracy wants to know, what ways can you suggest the pursuit when your spouse works long distance for a few months at a time? Well, this is interesting because there are a lot of people who have long distance relationships, bi-coastal relationships. And so the power of communication is critically important. So whether you're using FaceTime or you're using an app that we love, Marco Polo, which allows you to visually see and connect with your partner, that is so critically important. Taking time set aside in your schedule to connect, to debrief. There's so many different ways you can do it. Taking trips back and forth. Like, I don't know how many hours away he is, but I work with couples now, and Danielle works with some couples individually that literally will make weekend trips and then come back. And you've got to be intentional to do those things in order to keep the connection and the passion alive.
And there's other ways that you could do it just on a regular basis. I mean, Hassani is traveling a lot less right now with quarantine, but when he's away, there are little things that we've always done. I mean, if you know your spouse's love language, then you know how to meet their needs, even in a distance. Sending flowers, sending a card, sending an email. I talked about this yesterday. I think that we did this love dear a few months ago, and it was really about figuring out ways to be romantic and just going over and beyond to make sure that your spouse knows that they love you. And I did some really cool things. I made concoctions, I left notes, I did scavenger hunts. So find a way to do that in a virtual way. There are lots of services that will bring things to someone's front door, so you can figure out ways to really make your presence known even from a distance.
We have somebody from Nairobi, and what's great about what you're saying, Danielle, anybody can do this. It doesn't matter where you are from around the world. It doesn't matter what your culture, your ethnicity, it doesn't matter any of these things. We all have these things in common. We're all pursuing extraordinary relationships. And so whatever that looks like geographically where you're from, pursue it, go after it, because the last thing you want to do is remain stuck. Think about a horse in a race. They have blinders on. They're focused on the task at hand. They're focused on the carrot that's dangling in front of them, and they're in pursuit of it. And you've got to have a focus in your marriage to pursue one another to get to the final destination. But as you're pursuing the final destination, take the time to enjoy the journey. The journey's so important.
It is. It gives you something to wake up and look forward to, and there are folks that got some serious struggles in front of them, so they can't jump right to this, but it's something to work towards, because every day when I wake up, and I know you feel exactly the same way, right? You can't wait to spend another day with me, and that's the kind of relationship that you want to have. You want to wake up looking forward to, what are we going to do today? Hey, good morning. You want to wake up and appreciate the spouse that you have and have a connection, be able to sit in the morning and have a cup of coffee, talk about your visions and your goals, hold hands, touch and agree, and pray together. That is the vision. That is the goal. And it wasn't always that way.
It wasn't. And that's a great point you're making, because there's many of you right now who are in a tough situation. You're going through with your spouse. You've been disconnected. Maybe you're in crisis. Possibly you're on the verge of divorce. You can't even think about connecting with your partner and pursuing your partner because you're just in a bad place. But let me just tell you something. It's so critically important that you take what we're saying, even more important than those who are in a healthy relationship. The only way to get out of your pit is to do the necessary work to get there. You can pray all you want, but the Bible says that faith without works is dead.
Welcome from in Nairobi. I see you.
God has empowered all of us. He's empowered us to do what is necessary to get out of our own way and to do what's necessary to restore the relationship. And it's not always about how you feel.
Oh, go there.
Because you're not going to feel like doing it.
That's right.
You're not going to feel like putting in the work. You're not going to feel like connecting with your partner. But you have to get beyond your feelings and do what is necessary to get what it is that you truly desire. Because when you do the work, the feeling that you've been longing for is on the other side of the work that you choose to do.
So true. Isn't it interesting that when you're in pursuit of someone, all the red flags that everybody else sees, you are blind to. You can't even see them.
Gail from LA.
Hey, Gail, you can't even see those issues because you're so focused on the pursuit of this person. All the other things everybody else is seeing, you're blind to. But that's what you need to do. Put your blinders back on and set your sights and focus on developing a connection and a powerful relationship with your spouse that's unbreakable. Put your boundaries in place to keep others out, keep your in-laws out, keep your friends out, and everything and everybody else out, so that you can have the relationship that you're looking for.
Last point we want to make before we go. Listen, what are you looking at? What are you focusing on? If you are focusing on the mountain will seem impossible. The mountain will seem insurmountable. Stop focusing on the facts, what you can taste, smell, see, touch, and feel. Become committed and loyal to the unseen realm. This is the power of bringing God into your marriage.
You better tell these
you know what I'm saying? Because if
realm.
you constantly look at the problem in the situation, what's going to happen is you will cement in your mind a belief in an idea that this can never work. But when you tap into the unseen realm where God is, see, God is the truth. You're looking at all the facts, but the facts aren't necessarily truth. There's a major difference. The Bible says, let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich. So you got to tap into something beyond yourself.
Let the hurt say I am whole.
There it is. There it is. You got to submit to someone greater than yourself. It takes spiritual power to get out of your situation. Because if you continue to rely on your flesh, if you continue to rely on what's natural to you, if you continue to rely on your intellect, you will always wind up in the same situation that you're in. You need God and his system to enter into your marriage, to cause a breakthrough, to take your relationship to the next level. Let's see what people are saying. My wife and I work on different shifts. How do I tell my wife that by her always sleeping on the couch is affecting our relationship? Get back in that bed.
Get back in that bed, sister.
We were just counseling a couple the other day, and we were telling them, listen, never leave your post. I don't care if you two have different times that you go to bed. If Danielle goes to bed at 10 and I'm a night owl and I go to bed at 12, I am not going to get comfortable falling asleep on my couch. I'm getting back in my bed because my presence, even though she's asleep, she can still sense my presence. And it's about connection and it's about togetherness. Because once you get into the mode of, well, I'm on the couch, she's in the bed, or I'm in a bedroom downstairs and she's in the bedroom upstairs, it becomes normal, it becomes natural, and now it becomes the norm. It becomes the way that you do life.
Absolutely. And, you know, there are real practical issues that exist when it comes to people who work different shifts, right? So she's probably doing that because she's disturbed and she doesn't want to get awakened at a strange hour. And so there are things that you can do, because Hassani has had to do that. Be careful getting out of bed. Be cautious not to turn all the lights on and showering and doing all these things. Try your best not to disturb her sleep, and make that commitment to her that you're going to try your best to accommodate her so that she doesn't feel like she needs to go find someplace else to sleep because she can't get a good night sleep because you keep waking her up all times in the morning. So there are practical things that you could do to create an environment where she might be willing to come back to the bedroom.
Last comment. I just want to say that my husband and I were on the brink of divorce due to infidelity, and your videos on YouTube have helped our marriage. God bless y'all. We thank you both for the passion for helping others. And good morning from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Good morning.
We love to hear testimonies like that, because, and you just gave hope to other people who are on this live right now who are going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
If you feel like you're in crisis, you're on the verge of divorce, perhaps you are dealing with an affair, whether it happened 5 years ago, 5 months ago, 5 days ago, it's not too late for you. You can turn all of this around. We have countless videos on YouTube that really speak into the issue, the problems at hand, and that it's possible for you to restore your relationship.
Absolutely.
We have couples all over the world who we were able to come in contact with and help transform or restore their relationship. So listen, we encourage you right now, go to our website, couplesacademy.org, couplesacademy.org. Set up a free discovery call. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about what we can do to help change the trajectory of your relationship.
And if you're loving what you're hearing every morning, I want to let you know that we are working on this phenomenal event. It's called the Audacity of Marriage Home Edition. We're all home, right? And we need to find ways to connect. So I want you to go to couplesacademy.org /AOM_home_edition. The ticket is complimentary to attend. It's 3 days full of content. You will receive an experience packet in the mail that I just got finished packing tons and tons of envelopes, and I'm not done. But if you go ahead and register today, I will get a packet out to you tomorrow. And I think the last shipment going out will be, I think, Thursday. So that's tomorrow.
Is that right?
I think so. So if you guys are interested and you want to get the full experience with the packet in the mail, those who are in the US only, I'm sorry, but I will send out email packets for those who are international so that you can participate as well. There just will be a few less little things in there. But register for this event. It's free. It's going to be transformational. We did it at the top of the year, and it was phenomenal.
It was incredible.
And people loved it. So I want to invite you to that complimentary. All you have to do is register.
There it is. So guys, we'll
post this in the thread on the, we're on YouTube and Facebook too. We'll post it in the thread.
But we got to go because we got sessions. We got to get to work. We love you. See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.